So let's talk about the ideal clit process.
Ideal. It's always working with idealized images. You have to understand that they.
Well, then what was your clit development
Okay,
like?
it's better to go first person. You're always right. You're safe going first person. So I masturbated as a child without guilt or any punishment, and
You call it your tickle. I love that.
yes, and my mother would probably see the little kid, playing with her little crotch, and she'd say, "Does that feel good, honey?" And I'd say, "Yes," and she said, "That's your tickle."
It's so sweet.
Is that adorable? And so my genitals from there on was my tickle, and I recall it would tickle, and I would rub it or hump a pillow, and then the tickle would go away. I had no memory of any kind of an orgasm, as we would think of it as an adult. It didn't happen, and I think my probably first memory of orgasm was I'd have to be a teen. In other words, your hormones have to kick in.
And then, yeah. The horniness has to kick in.
And then, you have these, that was great. So.
And with your hands. It was with manual.
Always
with your
manual. Now, the tragedy that's going on today is that these young girls did not masturbate in their childhood.
Yeah, and you have to. You have to know that if you want good partner sex, you have to start with manual and masturbation.
And then they go from zero to intercourse.
And you can't skip the steps. It's like childhood masturbation, manual with fingers, and then I think the big step is how to get used to someone else touching your
That
clit.
was high school. And sharing. No, I didn't give him a hand job.
It's very kind of
one-sided, because that was my definition at that time. In the 40s, that was my definition of a good girl. It would be okay for Bob to play with my wee-wee, but I shouldn't touch his. I don't know. I think I probably was just a selfish little pig getting everything I wanted, but I was definitely having orgasms.
But how do you get used to someone else's touch?
And that's the whole point. I was getting used to somebody else's touch, and he was, oh my God, he was good. Slow and sweet and gentle. Mm-hmm. And get this, he was the captain of the football team. And when I would tell Eric that, he'd go, "What, a jock? I never heard of such a thing." So then from there, you graduate to where you then do intercourse. But that's after you have your birth control in place.
Yes.
And now you've had orgasms yourself manually, and you've had orgasms with another hand, someone else's touch, and then later on you have your penetration sex with more manual stimulation.
You're stimulating your own clitoris the whole time if you want to have an orgasm.
So now what happens is the young girl goes directly to a vibrator. And
how old were you when you got your first vibrator?
35.
I was like 33, 35, which is very interesting because our lives always dovetail together like that. I did not get a vibrator immediately.
The difference between our age and when we do our histories, it
lines up.
Similar, very similar. So to go directly to a vibrator when you've had
too much stimulation.
It's too strong. You don't know how to control it. Then it's like really just beating the shit out of your clit. Because what they want is they want that orgasm, and so they bear down and they push.
And
I
you're
had
tensing.
a client, listen to this, I had a client who was using the Hitachi on high for almost 30 minutes, and I kept saying...
Are you numbing out? Do you feel anything? Are you okay?
And of course she did not have an orgasm, and I felt very, very badly, but, this is the problem with technology. It's there for us to use. And it's wonderful. And there are ways and steps in which to use it. And that's going to be one of our jobs. My job is to make it very clear the process that you go through to use a vibrator.
Well, you even said it before. Every time you start a masturbation session, start with manual.
Always
start with a vulva massage with lubricant.
Yes.
Go there first before the vibrator. Don't just go right to the vibe.
Yeah. And so everybody's in a hurry. We don't have any minute to spare. And it's like, so grab the vibrator, turn it on high, wham, and then they go, it doesn't feel good, or
it's too sensitive after.
My clit gets so sensitive it hurts, and yeah, you bet it does. So we have to tune into our bodies and use the technology wisely. My darlings, please, Masturbation first, manual, stay with it for a while, an easy transition to having your significant other do manual, and then gradually ease into technology
And
as-
partner sex.
as partner sex much later on, okay? Just go slow. Don't be in such a hurry to get that vibe between your legs. It's a blessing, and it's also it can be a monster. So use it as a blessing. Okay.